So yeah, I'm really doing this backwards, but I don't mind. But because I kind of effed up. So yesterday I did for the last 2 days, but because I kind of removed it, today should have been 2009. Which is really interesting, but I've got it up to like 2010 being on 10. I really should have like learned. But I didn't. Realizing that, I missed a year. 2007. Also, I keep thinking, I'm like, 2007, the year of this, or the year of that. I'm like, no, probably that sounds terrible. But Hot Fuzz was the one. But the one thing I need to say is the thing that I've been doing for all of these films. Why didn't I pick The Saw? Again, I do like these films, but it's not... Never... Like, I think there's other films that are better. This one's, I think, The Police, which I do think is interesting because it connects to Saw 5 as the same idea. But, again, it's fun, it's interesting, it's terrifying. Let's talk about Hot Fuzz. So, previously, this is another Edgar Wright one. Another one done by Edgar Wright. And another one of the Cornetto trilogy. Which you'll be seeing again, because the last one, if I'm correct, is The World's End in 2013. This film is the second. The first one was in 2004, Shaun of the Dead. Now, for clarification, what is the Cornetto trilogy? The Cornetto trilogy are 3 films that are connected by 3 people, but are also connected by 3 ice cream flavors of Cornetto. I think it's to do with like, it's sort of inspired by the 3 Colors film by another director, but I don't know too much about it, so I'm not going to say anything else about it besides I think there's a sort of inspiration. Which is, if I'm correct, Shaun of the Dead, which is, if I'm correct, strawberry. Hot Fuzz, which is chocolate. And I think The World's End, which is, I think, mint? Because it's red, blue, green. If I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to go back that. Yeah. Well, Shaun of the Dead is red, Hot Fuzz is blue, and The World's End is green. Now, what do I think about this film? I like it. So, obviously I can't talk really... I can, but there's some things that's in Hot Fuzz that are jokes in Shaun of the Dead. Right? And there are certain actors that in Shaun of the Dead that have bigger roles in Hot Fuzz. There is also another thing that is in Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, but that doesn't come into really anything interesting until World's End. So yeah. There's also a theory, which I am going to somewhat bring up here because I didn't bring up Shaun of the Dead, but I disagree with it a bit, besides World's End. Which I get. Which is basically about somewhat of the hero's journey is going into a new world. And the thing with Shaun of the Dead is they claim that like, oh, he didn't grow up, etc, etc, and now he's still doing his thing. I think the whole film was sort of about going and sort of like coming out. And yeah, there's a whole like hero's journey, that's an iconic film idea. I love I'm wearing this, I'm wearing clothes, I'm still wearing my PJs. I don't know why that, it's just weird from when I'm looking. Anyway. Shaun of the Dead has that idea. But I do get that he does go out and basically still has the best of both worlds of having the girlfriend and still getting the job, etc, etc. There is a whole thing about that, and I did talk about that. But Hot Fuzz, I think, doesn't. I kind of do get a bit of Shaun of the Dead. I don't really see it as much as like, oh, it's about like staying in that zombie film idea. because originally it seemed like a zombie film, which I think is interesting. Hot Fuzz I like because at the beginning it sort of looks like a cop film, right? A very like, yeah, it's this, and then turns into a sort of murder mystery type film because of the mystery. In my opinion, in my personal take, I think it also at a certain point turns into sort of a cult film, but not like a cult classic, but more you get films that are based on like these unnerving groups that act a specific way and then reveal sort of like the darkness of it, and they do this in like this way and because of this and such. Those types of films near the end of like the revelation. I think it also, has one of the memes, because some of the stuff from Shaun of the Dead and The World's End, there's a bunch of stuff that have been used as memes, but I cannot talk about like memes and not go with "for the greater good." Shut it! As like an iconic meme. Because like a lot of people, when it's like they have the sort of like suspicious activity, I think a lot of people use "for the greater good." And some people use like it. Sometimes people use "for the greater good." Shut it! I think as a meme. But that's what I like. Because at first it seems this. I also like the fact that at a certain point there's a certain level of, oh, this makes sense, here's the mystery. And I think probably some of the stuff that's like, oh, here's how you pulled off these tricks is somewhat accurate and somewhat true. But the idea of like, oh, here's this developing mystery of like, you wanted land, you wanted to do this, of your competitor is going to be a problem, etc., etc. You got rid of these people so that there's not really a competitor. I mean, the real reason is a bad laugh, misspelling words, awful health, and she was just leaving. And if you can't have you can't have her skills in that area because the way other towns look slightly better. And you see certain things that they say and have that come back in a really effed up way, a brilliant way, but really dark if you look into it. And I love it because of that. It is insanely dark, but in that, like, it's very, like, extreme. I also like at the end is, I didn't say this with Shaun of the Dead, I am going to say it here, it's more in World's End, so I'm going to describe the one World's End. I am so bringing up World's End along. I like World's End. I think it's, out of the three, I think I like World's End the most, but I kind of get the point of it. I'll talk about that in World's End in, I think, the 13th of 11th, which is in 3 days. Which would be in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Anyway, a lot of the things where it's like, oh, we go and do this and this, and the drinks he suggested are what happened in the film. And in Hot Fuzz, a lot of the things are like, oh, did you do this? Or did you do this? Like a lot of the questions come up and then show up at the end of the film. You also get, I think, one of the films shows a specific moment from it. I think it's like Bad Boys 2 has a scene that gets played from that film that later on gets reenacted by one of the main two cops. But again, this is really fun and really interesting. And I definitely like it. I like the Hot Fuzz trilogy, and in a couple of days I will be talking about The World's End, which has a similar thing. But yeah. I also don't think there's going to be a store on that yet. But yeah, I hope you enjoy, I hope you like this video, and I hope you like the Cornetto trilogy, because I absolutely love it. Yeah. Tomorrow we're going to go back in order to 2010, but I hope you enjoy, and good night.